Hey y'all, I'm Hope. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another reading vlog. I usually do weekend vlogs, but this one's actually going to be a little bit different. Today is 1 week out from when my classes start for the fall semester, and I have 4 goals that I would like to achieve before then. So I'm not sure what I'm going to call this yet exactly, but it's going to be like a pre-semester crunch vlog. I think I did something similar last year in the last couple of days before classes started when I was trying to finish like 2 pretty chunky books right before I started my master's program. But now going into my second year, I have kind of 4 major goals I want to achieve, and I'm hoping that this vlog will help keep me accountable for working on those in the next week. I basically have from today, which is Tuesday, until Friday, and then Friday to Sunday I'm going to be at my partner's apartment helping him finish unpacking from his move and just kind of hanging out, that kind of thing. And then I have Monday, and then classes start next Tuesday. So here are the things that I'm hoping to achieve in the next week-ish. Number 1, I need to finish a revision of my thesis. I'm extremely close to being done with this, and I'm actually planning to work on that this afternoon. That's what's already open on my computer screen over here. That's what I'm doing next. I have like 2 or 3 comments left to address, and I've just been really struggling with lack of motivation, so I'm hoping this will help keep me accountable for working on that today. Next, I really want to finish this hat that I have been knitting. It's a little garter snake hat. I love this pattern a lot. I think it's going to look so cool when it's done. But I'm also starting on a mystery knit along the same day classes start, and I want to have just 2 projects on my needles when the semester rolls around. So if I can finish this, I'll be down to just that mystery knit along starting on the 15th, and also the sweater that I have as an ongoing project. Third, I need to brainstorm some videos because I ended up moving a lot of stuff around. I had some projects planned that I just know I'm not going to get to. I kind of overcommitted myself a little bit for August, so I need to spend some time in the next couple of days brainstorming for like the next 3 videos or next 2 weeks or something. I have several videos that need to be figured out, so that's another thing. And then the final goal is I want to make some progress on my stack of dread here on the corner of my desk, which is a lot of my read next stuff. I've recently started a new system for keeping track of things I want to read, just so that things don't kind of move from the top of my mind because I'm doing something else and I forget about them. So I've got a board, and actually we'll go on a little adventure. Let me show you the board. So this is my board, and here is a little sneak peek. I am doing a Dark Academia project, which I'll talk about again a little bit. I'm doing it as a 2-parter, so those are the 2 different videos and the books that are going to be in them. I'm not going to talk about my color coding here, but anyway, Dark Academia stuff, that's one of the things I need to work on. But then I also have on the left a Read Next column, which is all of the stuff that I most urgently need to read. This is mostly for upcoming videos, arcs that are about to come out, like books that are about to come out and I need to finish the arc, or things that are from the library that I really need to get to. And in a couple of cases, you can kind of see right here at the bottom, a couple of things in blue that are for this Dark Academia project that are kind of the things I want to prioritize first. On the other side, you have upcoming, which is like sequels to things that are on this side, and other things for projects. Also, this right now has a lot of my TBR Betrayal stuff in it. So that's kind of where I'm at. I need to make some progress on all of those goals, so let's look at what's actually in the stack on my desk. Okay, back over here, back to the stack of dread. First up, library books. The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I have like 50 pages of left of this, and I'm gonna try and finish this afternoon when I get done working on my thesis stuff. I'm really liking this. I'm having a ton of fun with it, but I definitely need to get this done because I have another book from the local library, Translation State, that I need to start, and these both have a due date around the same time. I'm hoping to have, I have hold coming in on a book I need to read for a class, so I'm hoping that hold will come in, and I'm hoping I'll be able to like have these done so that I can turn them in at the same time I go to pick up that hold, because I do have a little bit of a drive to get to my closest local library branch. So I need to get started on Translation State. These are probably the top priorities for the next week, but I do want to like get to some of these other ones. Oh, I also have one other library book, which is A Shadow in the Ember. I haven't decided if I'm actually going to finish this yet, or if I'm just going to DNF it, because I read like 150 pages and put it down, and I've never come back. And I haven't enjoyed any of the Blood and Ash books, and this is a spinoff, which I thought I was going to like better, and I don't. So may end up DNFing that one. Then the next 3 are for projects that are mentioned over on that board. I have for Dark Academia, I really need to start on the center. These ones I'm not going to talk about in depth in this video, I guess. I just want to probably mention them in terms of like whether I'm making progress on them or not. But I need to start the center. And then I'm also working on binging the First Law trilogy because the Catch Up Book Club have been reading this, and I missed the first several live shows because I've been reading the first book since January. I'm loving it, but I really want to get caught up so I can watch those live shows because I think that'll be a lot of fun. And at least the first book is one that I've really liked and would like to hear other people's thoughts on it. And I've been avoiding that because I haven't finished it. So I have the first 2 books. I need to go get the 3rd book when I get to it. I didn't want to buy it before I had finished the first 2. So that, again, I'll probably just mention in terms of like, oh, I'm, you know, this many pages in or whatever. But I've already read half of the Blade itself, you can see from my little tabs. And hopefully can get back to that one soon as well. And the last bit of this little stack is my TBR Betrayal stuff. I would love to make some progress here. I also have an audiobook that's How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps. That I'm not as worried about getting to because it's very short, so I should be able to listen to that one day while I'm at work. But I do have The Shadow of the Gods, Heaven Official's Blessing, and The Wolf and the Woodsman that are all on my list. I ended up with All Omens, I believe, for August, as I recall. So yeah, I would love to be able to actually finish these, but we'll see. I did better in July with TBR Betrayal stuff, but I did not actually finish that list either. So those are all of the things I would like to make progress on in the next week. I know that that is far more than I'm actually going to achieve in the next week, but I'm hoping that working on this vlog is going to keep me accountable, and it'll be a fun place for me to talk about some of these, particularly the library books, because I am really enjoying The Last Word, and I'm actually very excited for Cancellation State. So that is my hope for this video, and I'm actually gonna go get started because obviously I have a lot to get done, and I do want to go ahead and see if I can finish up my thesis stuff this afternoon because I am so close to being done with that, and it would be really satisfying to have that off my plate. Okay, it is several hours later and I have several updates, so that's very exciting. The first thing is that I finished The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I reached a point where I had to put everything else down and finish this because I was like 50 pages from the end. It was getting really tense and exciting and I just needed to know what happened. So I ended up kind of like setting everything else aside and finishing this, and it was so worth it. I really enjoyed this. I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to give it 4 or 4.5 stars. It's going to be one of those. I have a few issues with the beginning of the book. I think the setup is a little too convenient at some points, and some of the assumptions the protagonist makes are kind of wild leaps of logic, and the fact that she turns out to be right on those assumptions just feels, I don't know, just too convenient, I think is the way I would describe it. But once you get past the initial setup, I feel like the logic really holds up through most of the book, and I really enjoyed the kind of cat and mouse aspect of Emma having to try and work against this person who is stalking and trying to kill her. So I thought that was really fun. There are also some really interesting conversations in here that I liked that I think could have been explored a little bit deeper, but they were really interesting in the way that they were brought up here. So one of them is about like entitlement, and particularly like men's sense of entitlement to the bodies of others, the lives of others, others' good opinions, etc. Just this like sense of entitlement and how that can create a danger to others and how that can be destructive, which I thought was really interesting. Again, I think it could have been delved into a little bit more with the character that was involved with that conversation, but I liked that that was present. There was also a lot of interesting ideas around true crime and the way it profits off of victims' suffering, so I liked that conversation as well. And again, I think it could have been dug into just like a little bit more, but I think this was really more leaning into the thriller aspect as opposed to like kind of a literary or reflective aspect, which was totally fair. Again, it was very fun, so I was fine with that, and I just think that those were some interesting conversations that were raised, and I think that this would make it a good book, maybe for like a book club to talk about, because I think there's some stuff that you could really dig into there. The ending of this was also really good. I enjoyed the way that this ended. There were a couple of twists at the end that I really enjoyed. I think there was one brief minute where I was like, there were a few pages where I thought the ending was going to go this one direction, and I was really mad about it, and I was ready to fight the author for like a minute, and then it didn't go that way, and I actually really enjoyed the ending, so I was okay with it after that. I just had this brief like minute of, I can't believe you're about to do this, but it's okay. He didn't do it. He didn't do the thing I was scared he was about to do. And again, this was just a ton of fun. I think I've said that like 4 times now, but I had so much fun reading this, and I definitely will be picking up other books by Taylor Adams. The other book-related update I have is that I have decided officially to DNF A Shadow in the Ember. I've had this checked out from the library like 10 times this year. I read 150 pages of it during one of the times I had it checked out, and I haven't touched it otherwise. I have no real interest in returning to it. There's a murder mystery, and I usually like those. Those are usually enough to kind of pull me through a book, but I just do not care about any of what's happening in this book. There's like one character I like, and he is not enough justification to keep reading something that I am otherwise not interested in. There are too many other things that I want to read, so I've just decided to officially DNF that, and probably also DNF fully the Blood and Ash books, because I was on book 4, but I'm not going to probably read that one. So that feels kind of freeing, actually, because now I have more time to dedicate to other things I'm more excited about. So those are my 2 bookish updates, and then I also managed to do a tiny bit of my knitting. I got like another row or 2 done on the hat, so just a little bit of progress there. And then the last thing is I just finished the part of my thesis edits I wanted to get done tonight. I would have loved to have finished all of them tonight, but what ended up happening is that I was working on the biggest chunk, which is that I needed to add a section about Aristotle in here, and I did that. I worked on that first, and that ended up being a little bit trickier to do than I anticipated. It took me a while to kind of figure out how I wanted to structure that and what I really wanted to include there. I ended up needing to create that as its own paragraph, which originally I was going to have it as like a few sentences just kind of talking about that as specifically Aristotle's ideas around catharsis and how that has influenced thought about like the theater since it was written, etc. I ended up making it a little bit longer than that because I really liked this one example that was in the commentary book I read. I felt like it helped clarify my point, so I ended up making that a little bit longer section. It just took a little longer than I anticipated, but I did get all of that done, and I addressed one other comment, and now I have 2 left. And for one of them, I already know what I'm going to write. I just was not feeling like I had the mental energy left to actually write it, so I went ahead and made myself like a little note in the paper. I put little like bracket notes in there, and made a little like summary note of like, when you come back to this, write this. So I've gotten that pretty much ready to go, and then the last one was one where I just need to think about it a little bit more because it's kind of a difficult question to answer. So I'm just going to sleep on that one and see if I can kind of come up with a good way to answer that one tomorrow. But that means I really just have those 2 comments left to address, and I feel really good about that progress, especially because I've been trying to work on this for I think a couple of weeks now, and there was just like a real lack of motivation that was making it very difficult. But I'm really happy with how it's moving forward, and I feel good about my prospects of getting this done very soon. So all of that was really great. I had lots of progress in the last few hours, and I'm feeling good about that. That being said, I don't know what I'm going to tackle next exactly. I know I'm going to try and do that thesis stuff tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow afternoon because I am working on campus tomorrow. I worked from home the last 2 days because the carpets in our office were being cleaned. So I was not in there, so I could be out of the way while they were cleaning the carpet in the little storage room that I work in. I will have to go into campus tomorrow, so I'll have like a little bit different schedule tomorrow where I'll get home around 2:30-ish. And yeah, I'm not sure. I definitely will do the thesis stuff. I don't know what I'm going to tackle next in terms of reading. I have kind of 3 thoughts on where that might go next, and I may start one of these tonight, but I'm not sure. I definitely want to get to the blade itself. Okay, so I have 4 thoughts. Hang on. I definitely want to get to the blade itself, but I know I don't want to read this tonight because I'm annotating it, and if I didn't want to write in my paper, I don't think I really have the desire to annotate right now either. So I might leave that for later. I could start Translation State, which would be good because it is a library book and I would love to be able to get this done so I could turn it back in. So that's a strong contender. I also definitely need to get started on the center so that I can start making progress on this project because there are 16 books involved and I need to be moving forward on them, and this is the first one, so I haven't actually done that yet. And then the last one I'm considering, and this one I'm considering mostly as like a book that I could read before bed maybe, is Heaven Official's Blessing, because I think this one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. I know it's got some kind of over-the-top sounding fantasy elements. I think it's going to be a really interesting read, and I think it would be something that wouldn't be too intimidating as like an evening read. So those are kind of my thoughts right now. I'm not sure which thing I'll pick up. I will figure it out in a little bit. But those are, I think, the strongest contenders for my next bit of attention towards any specific thing. So I will pick one of those probably after I finish filming this and finish like shutting down my computer and everything. And then I'm either going to start reading some more tonight or I will play Ace Attorney with my friend. One of the two. I haven't decided yet. We'll figure it out momentarily. But for now, I'm feeling good about how I've done today, and I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Well, this will just be a quick update. It's Wednesday morning now, and I have decided to go with Translation State next. I want to go ahead and finish up my library books so I can go ahead and turn them back in. So that'll be good, and I'm enjoying this so far. I'm only like 25 pages in or something. I'm right here. I've met 2 of the 3 perspective characters. There's 3, there's Ine, Reet, and Kven. I've met Ine and Reet, and so now I've just gotten to Kven's first chapter. But I really like the setup for both of them. I think it's really interesting. One of them is being set on the trail of a 200-year-old mystery involving a missing translator, and another one is just been told that he might be descended from this group of people who are believed to have been extinct, but he's always kind of wondered why he feels so different from other people. He was adopted when he was very, very young, and he has always felt like he doesn't fit in, so he's really kind of, as much as he is weirded out by the situation, he's really curious about this possibility of finding community and having like an identity beyond himself. So I think those are really interesting storylines, so I'm curious to see where both of those are going to go. And then I've just gotten to Kven, so I'm curious to see what their storyline is going to be. But not very far in. We'll probably read some more of this evening when I get done with my other stuff. For now, I'm about to get ready to go to work, and I will work on my thesis probably right when I get back. So that is the goal for the afternoon, is to finish up my thesis stuff and make some progress in Translation State, which I feel like is a really doable goal. So I'm looking forward to today. I think it's going to be good. Need to write a couple of emails as well, which I may go ahead and do right now. But yeah, just wanted to like check in and let you know what I'd picked so that I would have a, you know, accountability partner. Y'all are my accountability partners here for this, except that I'm the only one being held accountable for anything. So it's working out well for me, and I will check in with you guys later when I have made some progress. So I just got home from work a little bit ago, and I ate some lunch, and now I am settling in to get some stuff done for the day. I have a couple of goals for the afternoon. The first one being I want to finish my thesis. I really want to get those last 2 comments addressed. I think that that's not an unreasonable goal. One of them, I already know what I'm going to write, and then the other one, I just need to kind of think through the question a little bit more. So I think it's doable. So that is the first major goal. Another one is I'm doing some laundry. Not very exciting. I just really need to have some clothes that I can take with me this weekend, so I have to do that. So I'm doing those 2 things. I've actually already loaded up my thesis and everything. I've got it over here, open on my computer. I've also made it to the beginning of the 3rd perspective that we're getting in Translation State, and I'm really interested because Kven is very different from the other 2, and in kind of a creepy way. So I'm really curious to see what that perspective is going to be like going forward, and to see how all 3 of these are going to come together, because they're all kind of starting out in very different places with very different goals. So I'm interested to see how the plot is going to bring these 3 people together. Really interested in this so far, and I'm glad that I decided to pick it up, because I did briefly consider just taking it back to the library and picking it up a different time, but I'm excited that I did not make that decision because I'm having a really good time so far. I'm only like 27 pages in, I think is where I'm at, but still, like, it's really interesting, and I'm glad I decided not to just kind of give up on it for now. So that's the one little reading update for that. And then the last thing I need to do this afternoon is film a video for Saturday, because I want to go ahead and film it and be able to like make my thumbnail, edit, all that good stuff in time to have that go up on Saturday, wherein I will not be here. So I have decided what that's going to be. I think I'm going to do a little overview of the books I'm going to be reading for my classes this semester and kind of my initial impressions on those selections. There's not going to be a whole lot to say for that, but I think it'd be fun to just kind of take a look at what's being assigned, especially because I'm not taking a lot of classes. I'm taking one actual like graduate seminar, and then I'm going to be a teaching intern for another class, so I have to like keep up with the undergraduate level reading, which is a lot less intimidating because I think they're reading one book. I actually haven't gotten the syllabus yet, but it looks like, based on what's in the bookstore site, that they're reading one book, and I'm guessing there's probably going to be some theory and stuff too. So I'm going to talk about the stuff I know has been assigned at this point, and I think that'll be fun. It'll be fun for me to kind of look over it, and I guess we'll give you guys a sense of what's coming up in the next few months for me. That took way longer than I wanted it to, but I have finished revision 3 of my thesis, and I'm feeling very accomplished right now. My focus has been at a no today. My cramps got worse, and I just did not want to look at that paper, and I could not for the life of me figure out how to write the sections I needed to write for a little bit there. But I did finally kind of return to my notes, and I figured out one section which let me kind of get started in the process of writing. And so I finally managed to finish the first comment. I went through and like fleshed out a few other sections I felt like needed just a little bit more to connect them back to my overall ideas. And then I addressed the final comment, and I've just finished that a minute ago, saved it, closed it, and I'm feeling so relieved and so accomplished at the moment. I'm also not feeling great, just generally, physically not feeling great. So I'm actually going to, I think, not read this evening. I just don't think my brain can handle it, especially with the stuff that's happening here. There's like a whole lot of new world building I'm trying to get to grips with, and I just don't think that I am ready to tackle that tonight. So instead, I'm gonna go play some Great Ace Attorney with my friend and just kind of relax for a little bit, try to get some good sleep tonight. And then tomorrow I'll be able to finish my laundry because I did a couple loads today. So I'll be able to finish up that tomorrow, start thinking about what I'm gonna take with me to my partner's apartment. And yeah, I actually feel pretty good about that. It gives me a lot more reading time. I basically just need to read and do laundry tomorrow, which puts me way ahead. I take that back. I need to edit one video, but it's a short one, so that shouldn't take me very long. So I need to edit a video, read, and do laundry tomorrow, which is a very doable list of things. So I feel really good about that, and I'm really proud of how much I've gotten done in the last 2 days. So yeah, for now I'm gonna go play some video games and just hang out. I feel like I have some time for some like well-deserved rest now. I cannot remember if I updated earlier or not, but it's currently Thursday afternoon and I've just gotten home from work. I had some lunch and then I decided to change my jeans out for leggings. I'm wearing Ghost leggings. I don't think I can get my leg up high enough to show you. There's my knee. Ghost leggings, because it was pouring rain when I got to work, and from my car, the walk from my car to the office I work in is not very long. I literally just have to like walk about half a block across the street and then go into the building. And in that amount of time, I got completely drenched. My jeans from the knees down were soaked, my shoes and socks were wet, my sleeves were soaked from where my umbrella was dripping on them. Luckily my backpack was dry because I had worn it on the front to try and protect like my laptop that's in it. But yeah, it was pouring rain when I got to work today and I got absolutely drenched. So decided to come back and get comfy since all I'm going to be doing today is pretty much being lazy anyway. I'm feeling very accomplished having finished my thesis revisions yesterday, so I've decided that today is just going to be like a reading and hangout and maybe knitting day. I'm just going to do some fun stuff and I'm going to finish up the laundry I need to do so that I have stuff to pack for the weekend. So that is the plan. I had to restart my laundry that was in the dryer because I realized yesterday when I set it, I didn't pay attention to what time it was set for, so I only dried the stuff that's in there for 20 minutes. So it was still soaked. So I had to restart the dryer on like a normal amount of time, and hopefully that'll be done in a little bit and then I can go continue on and cycle some more stuff through. Luckily I don't have like a huge number of loads that need to go through. I just felt silly having not actually dried my stuff in the dryer. So that is moving forward. Thesis revisions are done. I also got a meeting scheduled that I really needed to get scheduled because I need to meet with the instructor teaching the class that I'm going to be a TI for. I need to meet with her and like discuss the course calendar and what the assignments and the readings and stuff are going to be and what my responsibilities are in more detail. So I've got that scheduled. I'll get to meet with her tomorrow, so that's good. And I feel like I've done a lot of adulting in the last 2 days and getting things done, getting things kind of checked off my list. So very proud of that, even though it's like a small thing. I hate trying to schedule meetings and like writing emails and stuff, so feeling good about it. But yeah, rest of this afternoon I'm going to mostly hang out. I do need to refilm a video because I realized I had an error with my footage yesterday, so I'm going to refilm that and then edit that for Saturday, and then I'll be pretty much just hanging out. So I'm gonna hang out with my cats and do some reading, and I'll check back in with you guys. I say that at the end of every clip, don't I? We're not gonna do that anymore. I'm gonna find a new way to end clips. Anyway, I'm gonna go refilm a video. Here's my little buddy for the afternoon. Oh, actually, Elwood's in here too, so there's Pumpkin. And then over here on the floor, Elwood. He's like trying not to acknowledge me, but I see his tail twitching a little bit, which I know he does when he can hear me, but he doesn't want to let me know that he's paying attention. So he's listening. He knows. Well, I have not, in fact, done any reading. I meant to, and then I started knitting first instead, and it irritated my shoulder, so I stopped doing that. I twisted my arm funny earlier while I was putting my backpack on or taking it off or something, and now like this bit of my shoulder is sore while I'm lifting it. So I'm gonna ice it for a little bit. I took some ibuprofen a while ago, so I'm hopeful that will help, but we'll see. So I've not done any reading, but I did get an email from NetGalley, which was very confusing because it was one of those like, hey, wishes do come true. This book you wish for has been, you know, sent to your account. And I was like, I don't remember wishing for any books. And I went and looked, and it's because it's a book I wished for more than a year ago. I now have access to an ARC copy of a book that came out a year ago yesterday. So I've got a copy of The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, I think that's the author's name, and I have an ARC copy of that on my Kindle. So I guess I'm going to be reading that soon too, because now my ratio isn't great, and I was waiting to hear back on a request for System Collapse by Martha Wells. So I need to go ahead and read He Who Drowned the World because that's about to come out. But I guess I need to also now read The Art of Prophecy so that I can fix my ratio. I have a couple of others I need to get to as well, so it's fine. But it just was funny to me that I was like, why am I getting this book a year after it came out? I mean, like, I'll read it. That's fun. I've been wanting to read it anyway, but like, I was just a little confused getting that from NetGalley today. But yeah, that's the next thing I'm gonna have to read, I guess. Add that to my board. Didn't do any reading. Ended up playing Divinity Original Sin 2 with a friend of mine because we had started it ages ago. Got stuck in a dungeon that was too hard for us. Had to reload a save that was a few hours old, and so we didn't want to like have to do all of that again. Stopped playing. I think the last time I played it was 2020. And now we have decided to dive back in again because neither of us currently has access to Baldur's Gate 3. We both really want to play it, and we've been seeing it everywhere, so we were like, let's just try Divinity again, because maybe it'll be fine, and we're having a good time again, so. Been doing that instead, since my shoulder was not up to knitting today, and made some progress in my laundry. Need to actually go swap out my laundry again now. So I'm gonna go do that. But just wanted to check in and confirm that I've done no reading, but I have done a lot of gaming. And that's been fun too. Just a quick update because I did not do much reading yesterday. I read about 4 pages of Translation State. I don't know why I forgot that title. Anyway, I read about 4 pages of that. My hair is really flat today. And now I'm getting ready to go to work, and I've got a meeting after work with the professor that I'm working with for the teaching internship, so I'm gonna go to that. And then I'm gonna come home, pack, and head out to my partner's apartment so that I can help him for the weekend. I am gonna take my camera with me. I don't know that I'll do much filming while I'm there, but I'm taking it with me. I'm taking a book because there often is like downtime in the evenings where we just want to like hang out and read or watch some TV or something. So that's where I'm at for the day. I am feeling good about what I've gotten done this week. I do have some more reading I'd like to get through, so I am taking books with me because I do need to finish Translation State. I'm not, I think, probably going to get to the stuff over here right now because I next need to start the arc of He Who Drowned the World so that I can make some progress on that. I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler separate vlog for that, and I want to get started on that so that I have time to read it before the book comes out on the 22nd. So probably going to take that with me, and then since I'll have my Kindle, depending on how quickly I get through He Who Drowned the World and how I'm feeling, I may also start on The Art of Prophecy, or I might go back and rework on reading the Twyford Code, which was another book I got as an ARC, and I didn't finish it in time because of classes, and also because I was just having some trouble. I was in a slump at the time, and I was really having some trouble like getting into the book. I think I might restart it and just see how I feel about it now. I wasn't terribly far in, so it shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, that is the plan for right now. Go to work, come back and pack, go to my partner's apartment, hopefully get some reading done over the weekend, but we'll see, because we a lot of times end up just watching like YouTube or Food Network or something. So I'm gonna go do that, and my cats are gonna be very sad about it because they don't like it when I leave, and I feel bad, but they are very cozy right now. They're hanging out. I opened a window for them, so they're very happy. Well, I am back from work and from my meeting, and the meeting went really well, so I got to talk to the instructor for the class I'm going to be doing a teaching internship in, and really excited about that. I think it's going to be really fun. I learned more about what text she's assigned for the various weeks, because there's several. There's going to be a few video games. We're going to be doing Stardew Valley, The Flame of the Flood, and Banished. I think those last two are not gonna be playing like all of them, and I've never played Stardew Valley before, so that's gonna be fun. I haven't played the other two either, but at least one of them is one that a friend recommended to me. So I think Banished was one that my friend liked. So I think it's gonna be a really cool selection. We're doing those, we're doing Snow Crash, we have some podcasts and some academic writing, all kinds of things. I think it's gonna be a cool class, and I'm really excited about it. So that's that. And before I forget, I read a full book today. I started the audiobook for How to Defeat a Demon King in 10 Easy Steps by Andrew Rowe, and that was a 5.5-hour audiobook. Listened to it at 2 times speed, finished it at work, and I thought it was fun. I don't think this is gonna stick with me all that much. It's very silly, it feels very surface level. The characters are all fairly flat, but I think it's a fun story. I think it has some interesting messages around like agency and doing the right thing, and I thought it was very silly. There's a lot of like funny moments in it. And what else? Oh, it's also very heavily like borrows from Legend of Zelda, like very obviously. There's a water temple, there's a character who's like the dark shadow of the hero. There's like some very Legend of Zelda elements in it, and I think if you like Legend of Zelda, you'll probably like this, because I think it's very fun and it very much feels like an homage to Legend of Zelda. So I had a good time with it for that reason. I thought it was neat. Like, I'm not even like a huge Legend of Zelda fan. I like Legend of Zelda, but there were lots of like little references that I was able to pick up that I thought was like pretty cool. So I enjoyed it. I think I'm gonna give it like 3.5 stars. It was very fun. I liked the ending. I thought the ending was good. Yeah, that's pretty much the extent of my thoughts on it. It was pretty much like, it's fun, it's a good time. It was a good one for just listening to while I was working today, and that's pretty much it. So one nice thing about that is it's another one off of my goal list for the week, since that was on my TBR betrayal list. And now I'm moving forward with Translation State, which I don't have on me at the moment. It's in my backpack. And I'm also going to go ahead and start the arc that I need to read for later this month. So that is where I'm going with my reading. I'm going to keep reading Translation State and hopefully make some more progress on it over the weekend. We'll definitely be doing some reading, hopefully while I'm hanging out with my partner, because I know he likes to read too. So, you know, probably just have like 1 or 2 evenings or just like chill, read. I think we're going to go see a baseball game too, which is cool. But that's it. I think that's actually everything this time. So I'm going to go finish my packing and get ready to go. But today was a really good day, and other than my arm hurting, I think it's, you know, it's been very successful. Well, it is Monday afternoon, and I didn't do any reading this weekend. I just got home from work a little bit ago, had some breakfast, had some lunch, but I spent the whole weekend just kind of hanging out with Jacob. We didn't do a whole lot. We did some of the unpacking he needed to do in his apartment and made some good progress there. And then we went to a baseball game, so that was really fun. And we spent the rest of the time just kind of hanging out. Played some Fortnite, and also just kind of sat around and watched YouTube. Watched like a ton of Good Mythical Morning, which I had never seen before, but we watched like a ton of it. And that was really fun. So it was productive in the sense that like it was a good restful weekend, and we did get some unpacking done. But like I feel rested going into this next week. So I feel like it was still like a really nice weekend, and I'm okay with the fact that I didn't do any of my reading or any of my other stuff. That being said, this afternoon I got home and I had a couple of goals, which is that I wanted to make some progress in my knitting, and I also need to email one of my instructors with a suggestion for a text for the last bit of the class, for the class that I'm going to be a teaching intern for. I have an opportunity to choose one of our potential texts for the last couple of weeks. And so I told her I would try to get it to her by today, but I wasn't sure if I would be able to do it by today because I was going to be out of town. So I do have a couple of thoughts, and I'm going to, I think, finish reading one story just to clarify whether I think that one's a good suggestion, and then email her and send her my kind of thoughts on that so that I can fulfill that obligation. But that was it was a cool opportunity. It was just that I don't read a lot of short stories and poetry, and that was kind of what the opportunity was for us, to like pick a short story or some poetry or something short that we could do near the end of the semester, and I just don't read a lot of that stuff. So coming up with something that is both like topical for the class and kind of in my realm of interest is an interesting challenge. But I'm planning to work on that a little bit more this afternoon. I've reread a couple of stories I was considering, and I want to also finished reading one that I started that I think could be interesting. So I reread Compulsory by Martha Wells, because there's a new longer version of it, so I read that version, but it's also available freely. And I also read The Angel of Con el-Khalili by P. Djeli Clark, which is one that I've read before and really enjoyed. And then I'm currently reading Wait for Night, I think is the title, by Stephen Graham Jones, and I'm really enjoying that, but I'm not very far in, so I want to kind of finish that one up. And then I want to see if Arcadia Martine's written anything, because I think she may have some work that could be really topical. So I'm gonna kind of work on that this afternoon. However, I also have a headache, so I've taken some ibuprofen, I had some food, and I'm drinking some water now. But as per the usual, I've developed a headache at the very time that I was intending to be productive. This happens to me all the time. It's fine. Hopefully the medicine will kick in soon and I'll start to feel better. But those are kind of the major things I want to accomplish today. Do some knitting, get kind of a short story kind of figured out. I'm not really a poetry person, so I really am thinking more like short story. Figure something out there and email the professor, and then probably just kind of hang out the rest of the night. I need to do some reading, like very much need to do some reading. I need to get to Huge Around the World, and I need to make some progress on Translation State. But I don't know that those are going to happen today, just with my head hurting and me, frankly, being kind of tired as a result of that. And I had a long drive this morning because I drove back from my partner's apartment today, and it's about an hour drive. So I drove back, came home, dropped off my stuff, turned around, went to work, came back, etc. So I'm not sure what else I'm likely to get done today beyond just picking a short story and doing some knitting. So I think I'm going to leave this vlog here. I feel really good about everything I've gotten done in the last week. I haven't made progress on everything I was hoping to achieve, but I feel like the stuff that I have gotten done has been really good, and I feel good about that progress. So I feel like this was a successful vlog overall for me, and I hope that you guys have enjoyed coming along with me on this little journey of attempted productivity. But I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, I hope you'll consider giving it a like, maybe even subscribing to see what comes next. Currently posting every Tuesday and Saturday, so there is more content coming soon, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.